on our Facebook page, Matt, about Seth Rollins said WWE is the best pro wrestling on the planet. Do the audience agree? What do you think that come out at, Matt, as a little guess, unless you've seen it?
I'm going to say the level of dissatisfaction has grown quite a bit. It's been many years that people have been wanting an alternative. It's arrived. People are going to switch and say, I'm waiting for the new style of wrestling, AEW or Ring of Honor. I'm guessing that they're going to say it's not the best.
Yeah, 76% agree that it is not the best pro wrestling product. I think it was interesting that you said pro wrestling, and I know that even Austin chimed in and said, look, it's entertainment, it's not pro wrestling days have long gone. As a pro wrestling promotion, that's not been that for a long time. So I think the fact that he used that sort of, because Vince doesn't even like guys referring them to themselves as wrestlers. You've got to be superstars. And I know that always cuts some guys up. It is kind of stupid as well. But yeah, 24% do agree with Seth. So there is, there are some fans there that still, of course, WWE is the main home, and it will always be the main home. But I think at this time it's just very interesting that he came out at this point. I don't know if he was just trying to get under some skin or just get a few people talking. Certainly has done that if that was his job. Mm-hmm. But as a baby face, it puts a lot more pressure on him. If he's a heel, this is perfect, Matt. This is what you want a heel doing. But when you're a baby face, I do feel, especially with his relationship with Becky now being so open, fans will... You know what fans are like, Matt? They will literally... I could imagine a time where Becky will be getting chants and he won't. I don't know. You know what the fans are like. They're very, short fuse with that sort of stuff. So it'll be interesting to see what happens next, especially with Chris Jericho.
If he keeps calling himself the best in the world, maybe Shane McMahon will get offended. Maybe that's our next match here.
Yeah, maybe that.
You said about the title may be involved.
Yeah, it could definitely be as well, I believe. Thank you for everybody that's been voting on the polls. I'll certainly be doing a lot more of those as well now. It's good, especially after pay-per-views. I feel like it's good to get a read of what people felt about it and some of the stuff that happens. Okay, so just want to talk to everybody about the podcast, because I know we haven't been putting out as much content, first and foremost. And to some of our sort of regular listeners, I have been sending you guys some extra information about our intentions, because I always want to repay the loyal fans that have been with us since day one, since the Wrestling Skull podcast days and stuff like that. Myself and Matt, we are literally in the sort of stage at the moment of sort of a small transition, but not enough to sort of take us off completely whilst we do it. We're still going to be around. But we are definitely going to be moving into the video content. And we're always going to have the podcast. I think the one thing I never wanted to get away from was doing a podcast, because that's what started us. That's where, our audience is from. But if you fancy now with videos that we're going to have on, we're going to be doing a lot more different things with interviews. And other stuff is going to come up as well. So we're going to try and, we're really in an exciting sort of spot at the moment, Matt, I think it's fair to say, but also a time where we're just having to take that little bit of extra time just to get it all set up. But when it's done, I think it'll all be worth it. We're just trying to make sure we get the best possible stuff involved for our YouTube channel. We've already done a few videos for it, but now we're going to sort of take it to that next level, and it should be really good. I'm excited for it, and I think it'll expand an already good product that we've got, and of course we wouldn't be here without you guys, so that's why we wanted to give back some of the stuff, and also just give you guys a little bit of information about what's going on in the time. But Matt, I can't even think how many years we've been doing this for now, if I'm honest, but a long time. What was it? When did we go to SummerSlam, Matt? That was the year you jumped on board with me. Is that 2015?
Maybe,
14?
yeah, may well be. Yeah, may well be that.
NXT, the first NXT takeover. I'm gonna have to look that up. But that was that's when we started this. That's when myself and Matt got together, and we co-host the show, and we haven't looked back since. So yeah, we're gonna go into the videos and have our YouTube channel, and I'm sure that's gonna bring a lot more excitement to you guys as well in terms of what we can do and what we can produce. And also some of the talent that we're going to be able to have on with us. But we are not, and I repeat, we are not going to come out of the podcast. We are always going to do the podcast no matter what. And it may even be a kind of hybrid at some point as well. So who knows? But we will always remain doing the podcast first and foremost. And of course, for all those years, Matt, segue in here. You're going to need something when you do all these podcasts, Matt. You're going to need a razor. You're going to need a good razor because, trust me, when I started, I didn't have a beard. Now I have a full beard. So, if I ever want to get rid of this beard, I need a decent razor now. And, Harry's razors are the way to go. Harrys.com is the way to go. It's completely customizable. That is a great thing with this. I am and listen, guys, I'm telling you, anything I promote on this podcast, and I have had offers of other stuff, but I've just not really liked it, and I felt there's some stuff I've not even heard of before. And trust me, when they sent me the samples of some of the stuff, I won't say what it is, but when they sent it to me, it wasn't something I felt like I really felt in touch with. So I will not be putting things on this podcast that I don't actually believe in the product. But Harry's razors, absolutely you can. I've been using these now for the last 3 months. And trust me, I've given up my old razor that I had for the last probably 15 years of just the same brand that I always used to go and get. harrysrazors.com, they're actually cheaper than those ones, and they're the package that you can get, and this is the great thing, shipped straight to your door. Anytime you want to change the package deal, guess what? You go online, you log into your account, and you can customize the bag that you're going to get. You can also have it sent to you monthly, 3 monthly, maybe even 6 months. You don't need as many razors. Maybe you're missing some foam. Guess what? You can just literally edit. They'll send it to your door. And the great thing is, the first one you sign up for, all you've got to pay for is posting, and that is it at I think it's $3.95, guys. And with that, even if you don't continue, even if you just want to trial it, which I encourage you to, £3.95 gets you a brand new razor. And they'll chuck in a free gift with it as well for your first one. So, for £3.95, guys, it's a no-brainer. Just go for it. Go to harrys.com. It supports the podcast as well. If you type in wrestling as well in the code, that gives us a kickback. I know you guys have already been doing that, and I want to thank, I've got a name here. Let me just thank this guy, Peter Williams. I want to thank him because he's put in a massive order, and he works in I believe a factory somewhere in, I think it's Sunderland. I got an email from harrys.com. He put it in there. This guy, I don't know how many people he's got under his factory rooftop, but he has supplied his staff as a bit of a bonus with these razors, and he spent well over, I believe, 150 quid on just giving them the new sign. So this guy has gone the whole way now. Think of that, guys. All these men in this factory are literally going to have Harry's razors. So that's fantastic for us, and I want to thank Pete for doing that for us. That's massive help to us. We got the email from harrys.com that you've done that for us. So massive thumbs up from us on that one. So don't forget, guys, go and check it out, harrys.com. From razors, Matt, back to wrestling, and something I was really picking up on last week. I don't know if you got round to listening to it, but was the Steve Austin Return podcast show with the AEW owner Tony Khan. Did you manage to listen to any of that, Matt, or see any of the quotes or whatnot that was said?
No, I didn't, but you filled me in on most of the blanks I was missing.
It was a very fascinating conversation. Austin was out in Vegas anyway. He didn't go to the show, but he wanted Tony Khan on as his first guest. And I was quite intrigued, Matt, because I know very little about Tony Khan. All I know is he owns Fulham Football Club in this country. And, of course, the Jaguars are his dad's baby in America. So I knew very little about him. All I know that, he's just become the owner of AEW, he's pumping lots of money. But little did I know, Matt, that he is like some sort of crazy numbers bod. And literally reels off numbers of wrestling. Like, he'll give you any date of any match, and he'll probably give you times of what the match length was. It was crazy. It was like data analysis on wrestling. And wrestling doesn't have statistics, as we well know, Matt. It's not something that does that. But this guy seemed to know everything, going not just even from Steve Austin's past, because he knew a lot about him even before he got to WCW, but also, going back to the 60s, the 70s. I mean, this guy is up on his wrestling knowledge, and I was very, very shocked. And it made me come out after the interview thinking, blimey, I think Vince and Triple H probably would be more concerned knowing how engrossed this guy is to his own products. Now, it's one thing to have Ted Turner sort of pump money into WCW, but Ted Turner wasn't really a sort of all-round wrestling guy, wasn't totally knowledgeable on wrestling, I'm sure. But whereas this guy, I mean, he was working, Matt, in the gorilla position. I mean, he was doing all the production for them that night, so he'd done a pretty decent job there. But yeah, some of the things he was saying that I really picked up on, that I liked the sound of, was he was talking about literally there will be no guys going for the main titles unless they have had a good succession of wins, and winning and losing is finally going to matter again in wrestling. And that sounded great to me, because I feel like that is something that is totally lost, and this 50-50 philosophy is totally out of date for me, and it just kills the product of WWE in so many ways. A little bit like we just discussed, Matt, with Samoa Joe. I mean, how on earth he's now got a title shot is beyond me, but it just happens. Or worse than that, a guy can just come out at the entrance at the start of a new month. They can just come out and just challenge something, and that's it. It's just kind of stupid, but yeah, I'm glad that that's going to be happening. He also spoke about the show and how long it was going to be. I know Austin was chuffed. It was only going to be 2 hours, thank God. I know I was and all. And of course, it's going to be on TNT. And was talking about all the shows coming up. But it sounded really, really good. I mean, very, very positive. I know it's early stages, but again, people were laughing at this AEW thing, going, can't take it too seriously. They didn't have a TV deal. Now, since January, Matt, I mean, we're coming up to July now. They've had a pay-per-view. They've got a TV deal on TNT that's going to be starting in the fall. They've got a deal signed over here with ITV4 and the box office as well. It's not too bad for them, Matt, and they've hardly had to sort of get any major names in, I would say. I know that John Moxley's there, but it's not as if they even had, he wasn't a name they sold on the pay-per-view, so we didn't know he was going to be there. So it's not too bad for them at the moment. What are you making, Matt? I know Jericho comes out of a lot of stuff, and again, he's just probably trying to stir the pot somewhat, but he's a great promoter in that sense. But are you starting to believe in AEW could be not? I know we how many times we've said this, Matt, with the likes of TNA coming along last, and we even spoke about Jeff Jarrett's, what was that, Global Force Wrestling, or whatever he called it.
Yeah, that's right.
And I know, you can always turn to New Japan, but it's bloody hassle to get hold of sometimes, and it's not a weekly show. But Matt, in terms of having a weekly produced show, how sort of significant is everything that's been happening now plausible that this is actually going to be the one that finally gives WWE some competition? How how sort of on a percentage are you, Matt, that this is a guarantee at the moment?
Well, I feel like that's their intention, isn't it? And it's clear